So, hi guys. It's a little bit of a surprise. I haven't been on here for a minute, and so I'm home for like another day. I leave out tomorrow, basically, and have a podcast this weekend, and so it's going to be kind of fun. We're starting the second season of podcast, and going to start talking to a lot of people about life on the road, and then other organizations, things here featured in Florida, and then different places around the country. So it's all about giving visibility to everybody and networking together to make a difference within our community and everywhere that we are. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. Fylishia has been someone that has been on the page for a little bit, and I love when people share their life, and she has really taken to sharing um, her trucking career, where she's at, running cross country, pictures, and stuff. So I'm really excited about having her on the show today and talking about all of that. So let's welcome Fylishia Lee. How are you?
Hi, Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure.
So I guess we'll just start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself and how you found the page and how you came into trucking.
Well, uh, honestly, I am a 26-year-old trans girl. 27, sorry. um, I started trucking basically this early beginning this year. Uh, I'm used to being in the construction field and the welding field most of my life, and I decided to do a career change just because me being a trans person is very hard in some industries. So I had the opportunity to get my CDL license early last year, I guess, in 2024, um, and I been enjoying the trucking industry. I started up um, what in when did I start up in October? Yeah, so I want to say around October, maybe a little earlier than October. Everything's just kind of blended in together after dealing with a move and starting this new career path. Especially when you're out on the road, everything just kind of get jumbled up and together. Weeks become all kind of clashed in together, so I lose track of time quite
You're
quickly.
lucky to remember what day it is. So
Yeah, remembering what day it is very oof. Yeah, probably
yeah,
I would have to go back through my calendar and go through that. But uh, I did pick the career path because I really wanted to still be myself and actually feel comfortable being myself and not be judged harshly. And being in the truck by yourself is really nice. I do meet quite a few nice people out there. Um, it has impacted my life in a major way, in a lot of positive ways, and a few hard ways. I guess you can say
right.
being a transgender on the road. Um,
Do you feel that it's
uh,
any different that, like, for you being transgender, do you think that it plays a role in your career?
um, it it does. It really does. Because um, I still run with old school people and being open minded and being respectful to everybody's opinions and religions and sexual orientations. I can really talk to anybody. I have met several people. In fact, my old trainer through the company that I was with, I was his first transgender student, and it opened the door for him. Also for transgender people and making it realize that we ourselves are human beings as well, and
Mhm.
every one of us is very different individually. And he had a new outlook, I guess, on the transgender community, LGBTQ community in general, and definitely got a little bit more respect out of it because one, I'm a hard worker, very respectful over other people's opinions and ideas. I don't push myself and my beliefs on other people. Just as that's just the American freedom right. We all have our rights to express who we are, what we want to be. That's why I'm able to be who I am as today. Um, but yeah, no, it's definitely played a role and an impact on it. I've had a lot through the Facebook, social media, which I've been kind of posting a lot more on, especially like 6 other groups. Um, I get a lot of great feedback, a lot of great and thumbs up and support through a lot of different communities, which is really nice. And then you get some of those disrespectful people here and there, but that's just part of it, you know. Um,
I feel
out in
you
the real,
get I feel you get some people, at least I have ran into a lot of it with like doing the pride trucks and all the stuff that we've had. Um, I get a lot of hate, believe it or not, from our own group, our own people. And do you ever get people trying? Because I have seen this in the past. So, do you ever get people that try to tell you how you should transition or what is the proper way? Or and I know there is no book, I don't believe that way, but there is so many people that is quick to voice that opinion that you have to do this, you have to do this surgery first, you have to. So have you had to deal with that?
actually, yes. Like, I still get that kind of a little bit to this day. Even people who are in the LGBTQ community who identify as women or transgender women, they'll not not many, but a few have kind of came out towards me. I'm like, you're not very valid if you haven't had the surgeries yet, or if you're not quite fully into HRT, which I'm still pre kind of HRT. I'm microdosing. I'm still in the works of processing and getting all those doctor visits and everything going. It's kind of a process, especially with my wife and I wanting to have future children in the you know in the mix. So I have to go through labs and freeze some stuff for future children and then go through the process of the HRT. But yeah, no, I have been kind of singled out a little bit as a transgender woman, being very early stages of it, and kind of, I guess, subject that I'm not part of being a transgender community, I guess, even though I identify as a transgender woman. I'm very feminine. I've been transitioning for practically a year now in full transition. Um, but yeah, no, even amongst women, men, and other LGBTQ, the LGBTQ community, it's I've been singled out a little bit. Yeah.
So through social media, what I know you said that you post to a lot of different groups and have taken to that and enjoyed the experience. So, what is your goal with reaching out to the other groups and being in the groups? What is your goal for yourself within how you utilize the groups and what are you doing with sharing?
Yeah, I use other groups not only just to get myself out there as a person, and um, I I really just want to open the eyes of the community of other trucking industries and companies out there that we are humans ourselves. We are just like everybody else. We may dress a little different. Some of us may act a little different compared to what society thinks is the normal. Um, but I don't know. I look at it as a tool for one to help other transgenders and people in the LGBTQ community, transmasculine, transfemme, gays, lesbians, just to come out there and not feel like they have to be afraid of who they are and to be able to just run and keep their heads held high in a what people consider a masculine or a man dominated industry. And
Right.
that same thing go with the welding and the construction field. You know, I did that, push myself in there, being a transgender woman, just to prove to other people, I'm like, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. You should get to know somebody and see where they're at, and we're all equal here, and just kind of give confidence to others who are either still in the closet or still trying to find themselves. It gives them a little bit of closure and feel like they're not alone in a lot of aspects, as I'm still trudging through my journey and my transition journey, and um, being
I mean,
a
one
and
thing that really is, that I've learned, myself is that you may say one thing. You may say one thing in a podcast, and 20 people view it, 100 people view it, whatever may happen. But all it takes is that one person hears a message from you, a line from you that literally can save their life. They will message you later and say, I was in a very dark space and I really needed to hear that encouragement come from you. So that's why we try to put a face behind the driver. No one thinks about who's behind the wheel. They don't think
Right.
about lesbian couples, gay couples. They don't think about someone being trans couples. I mean, there's so many people out there that you would never think of. I mean, they also don't think of 70-year-old grandmas being out there, and there is
Right.
70-year-old grandmas just starting in the career at 70. So I mean, you know, um, giving a face to people and doing the podcast so where you can like show more people, show the diversity that's out there. It's a lot more than people really realize. And so that's always been my goal from the beginning, is just showing who we are. It's very simple.
Absolutely.
It's very, very simple. And whether it's straight, gay, bi, it does not matter to me. It's just, there's a lot of people I've come in contact with. When we started the organization, we were the first nonprofit organization in trucking for LGBTQ. There's other groups and pages, but none of them really are an actual nonprofit. There's only like one other besides us. And then, so doing those things, I had a lot of red tape that I had to go through just to show up at a truck show. Everybody else,
Right.
they gave an entry form and everything was great. I show up, and what happens is 3 months prior, I had to show every item that we were going to have at our table. I had to show every T-shirt slogan. I had to show everything in advance. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy that I have to jump through all these hoops. Everybody else just submits a form, pays their money, and it's fine. And
Right.
so, like, we've done a lot of things, but I want to do more. I want to team with more people like you, having you as a part of the organization, have other people. When I see people on the page that's very interested in showing their life and comfortable,
Hmm.
it makes me happy. It really does. Like, that's what it's about. And then people ask me all the time, well, what about the other organizations, or what about the other groups and the other pages? And I'm like,
Right.
we need more. It's
Yeah.
okay. Like, people's like, oh, it's competition. It's no, it's not. The more out there, the more visible. And
Correct.
together, that's how you make a difference. It is. It's how you make a difference. It's by being together and grouping together and networking together. So, you know, um,
Absolutely.
I personally want to thank you because I was going through a rough time in my life. I had lost mom and dad, and that's been on the page for a while about things going on. And I just I started following your posts and seeing you post on there, and um, it just feels good when you see somebody taking interest. And I had to take the back seat for a minute, if that makes sense. I haven't even
Yeah.
hosted,
Yeah.
I haven't hosted a podcast in months. I haven't done anything, and it's just because I had to take a break. Your mind just gets overloaded sometimes, and I do have an amazing team of people. I have Derek, and I have Jess and Tabitha and Vivian and Ashley, and so we do have a good team of people for the page and the podcast. And some people's in the background more. They don't like being out in social, so they're more like the moderators that moderate things. But it is,
Absolutely.
it takes all these different working parts to make things work.
Oh, it
Um,
does. It does.
but I'm excited that you're kind of like the first podcast I've done. So I just want to thank you for all of that and staying active on the page, because it's important. And I hope you don't go away. I hope you stay and active. But so I know that you had said, so I'm just going to talk about future goals and about family, having family.
Yep.
And so, what is your current situation now, family, and what is your plan?
Well, my current situation is I know where you're coming from, being having life itself throw curveballs at you
Mhm.
and having to step back on the back burner a little bit and just kind of reevaluate a lot of things. And I've done that this year a lot, especially with losing my career, my job, being a foreman of a construction and welding company for several years. And just really just because the fact that I'm a transgender person made me take a step back and realize what am I doing with my life, and um, also being coming into a new relationship with my wife and with her family and my current family. She has a child of her own, a 9-year-old boy, which is now my 9-year-old boy as well, and me coming back with a 3-year-old son, which is now also her 3-year-old son. So we came together early this, um, I guess, in 2023, and then started really just really hitting it off in 2024. And we grew together as a family. And through the hardships and process of losing my job, and for about three months there, I was workless. I didn't have a job. I was really trying to shoot for what I wanted to do for work, but also build a continue my journey on a my transition journey and continue to be myself and be happy in my life. And she was full supportive, and I love her for that. And but also growing our family as we've talked more about having adding another child in our family and having a child together. Um, I really need to push forward somewhere that can really flourish my career, and I end up getting my CDL license and going from there. But yeah, no, I we plan on growing our family. We got two boys right now. We got another boy coming. We're really shooting for a girl. That's why um, being a
Don't say
transgender and
that.
transitioning with HRT.
You're gonna jinx
Uh,
yourself because every time that somebody wants to have a boy and wants to have a girl, they'll just have another boy. You're just gonna jinx yourself. Stop that.
yes, yes, absolutely. Like we were both really shooting on having a girl. Like we really wanted to, and we tried. We really were like keeping our fingers crossed there to have a girl. And my family runs dominant in boys, so I kind of had a feeling. And sure enough, we're having another boy, which we're very happy on. We're very blessed. We got little Lasitis coming here in March, so it's coming right around the corner. And but
That's
that's why I
awesome.
want to go through the process before I really get hard into the HRT, my transition. I want to go freeze my sperm basically, so that way we can have a future child in the future. And through the doctors and science that they now have these days, we can actually get a better chance of getting a girl. So they'll do some stuff with her eggs and my sperm and have a higher, I guess,
Like
a
the in
higher
vitro
higher outcome of
fertilization.
guarantee that we can get a girl. So
That's awesome though. So I have a hard question.
yeah,
And all right, um so with everything, where did Felicia Lee come from? When did she start? When was that? Is that something that's been since childhood? Is it been something that you've hid? Like where did she start?
that's a great question. Honestly, I've been soul searching for a lot for many years since I was a child. I mean, since I was little, middle school, um, second and third grade, I have an older sister, and having an older sister and kind of growing up with my mom and my sister mainly through my childhood. I've always been feminine. I was always drawn to the feminine stuff, looking girly, cute things. I wanted to always get my nails done. I always had an eye out for dresses and just the pretty things. I played with dolls and stuff like that. Not your typical, not your typical boy. And but I went back and forth through my childhoods. But all throughout middle school, all throughout high school, I would wear feminine clothing under my guy clothing. I did that, and without even really acknowledging what I was doing, I just felt more comfortable. Even though I came off more passable, definitely passable as a male, I played that male part very well. I mean, there was a point where I had my full beard and in my early 20s, full beard, biker looking guy. I was your typical biker boy. But I want to say Felicia really started coming in about 2019 to 2020. I started transitioning a little bit, my early stages of transitioning, kind of being more open with my ex-wife and be like, this is how I feel. I feel more comfortable being in women's clothing. I want to come off and be passable as a woman if possible, in near future. And my ex-wife at the time was very hard on that. She didn't accept that, and I understood that. I could not change her point of views. She fell in love with a man, not a female. So we are still on very respectful grounds. My ex-wife is the one that I had my first child with, and we have great parenting plan. We work really good. We're really great friends, so which is a blessing in itself. But my first marriage was the hard one because I went about 6 years in that marriage, going back and forth between transitioning and then detransitioning just because it was hurting my marriage and hurting my line of work as well. So I was afraid of losing my family and afraid of losing my job career and not being left with nothing. So being there, it was difficult, but it wasn't until 2022 when I came over here with my new career of being a welder and fabricator. I really said enough is enough. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting older, and I want to be able to be happy with myself. And it got to the point where it was very hard to look in the mirror and see the person that, who I was and not who I wanted to become, and felt really felt like I was living a lie and just lying to other people, and always kind of throwing on a mask. And I was like, you know what? There's other people out here like this, like me, and I want to be an example for that. Because for
Right.
me, I've always kind of was always open to the camera. I can talk to really anybody about their situation and have empathy and really help other people. And I told myself, you know what? I want to be, uh, I guess you could say, an influencer on other people to help others and start
Right.
my transition journey. And I went full board with that in 2023, and I went a full year and a half about doing transitioning of got rid of all my male clothing, got rid of everything, and just went full on Fylishia. And that's where I met my current wife now, and she's been nothing but supportive and really, really supportive. I mean, there's some times where I thought maybe I was like, is especially when I lost my job. Because of me being transgender. Um, I felt like, am I doing something wrong in my life? And she reminded me that, you know what? No, you just need a career change.
Right.
It's other people who have issues and problems with that, and we have to come to an acceptance with that. I'm not going to be able to change other people's mind because I respect that. I don't push myself onto other people's beliefs and ideas, and
I
I'm
don't know
just
how
here to
many
enlighten.
I
You
don't know how
know,
many other people would have went into trucking um as the selected career. I'm just saying
right?
because like in your mind at first you're like, wait, am I doing this right? Is this what I want to do? So
Yeah,
I love it, and and I talk a lot about the driver bubble. I've said this forever that when you get in your truck, you can get in this driver bubble, and it's really easy to do for mental health and everything, and it's always very. I'm glad you have a circle of friends and people that support you because that's really important to be able to get out of the truck. And but you know when we talk about things and we're doing, like me and you just sitting here chatting, and I have so many things that run through my head because I'm like, this is another person that understands. But at the same time, what was for you? So since everything is, I feel like for you, everything has happened very fast, also.
it has.
And so, like, what has been the hardest part of letting go to become Fylishia?
The hardest thing to let go was, unfortunately, family members and your close friends. Um, that was the hardest thing for me because your family, it only happened like within the last year. My mom finally came around and was able to accept me. So within the 4 years, I was very much disowned by my own family, and lost many friends because of it too, as well. Just because I came out being transgender, it made me really um, realize on who was there by my side, and I did lose a lot of family, a lot of friends during this transition, and gain new ones though. I did gain new ones and gain new family members, but it really showed me on who was there by my side for my support. And
You'll be
um,
surprised, though. I will tell you, like, you'll be surprised, like your mom, um, over the years when people hopefully they will, but after they
mhm,
realize that you were the same person all along, you're still the same
right,
person.
right,
You are just making the outside of your body match how you feel on the inside. That's it.
it,
You were the
yep,
same person all along.
yep,
Nothing
and
changed really, except
yeah,
physical
yeah,
appearance.
yeah, and that's a hard one for other people to realize. They think that you're completely changed as a person, and in theory, you haven't at all. You're just fully comfortable in your own skin to show yourself to the people you really care about. And at that point, you're really you're driving for the hope of acceptance amongst your family and your friends,
Right.
and it will hurt. It's not at all an easy move and journey to take, to be able to come out in your sexuality or in your gender,
Mhm.
especially to, like, I came from a family who was very religious, and for the longest time I thought there was an issue with me. Growing up in churches and stuff like that, I was always pointed that I was wrong, and to the point where I was called the devil, that I'm going to hell, and I got to the point of accepting that. Like, fine, you know
I
what?
mean, I'm
If
backwoods West Virginia here. So West Virginia born and raised. I now live in
Yep,
Florida, so imagine it's West Virginia. I'll just put it that way. So,
yeah,
um, now for you, were you always what area of the country were you primarily in?
um, basically based out of Washington.
Okay,
Now Washington State, not DC. Yeah, basically based out of Washington. But as a kid growing up, we did travel a lot. I lived in Both my parents grew up in California. I lived in Montana. I lived in Idaho. Uh, I lived in a lot of different places. We even went outside the states and lived in Mexico for a little while, and Texas, and yeah,
that's cool.
basically kind of West Side.
Well, like Jess had a question on here. He had shared, do you feel that sometimes being trans has become a fad for those who don't fit in the modern era?
Hmm.
I don't, for me, I feel like over the last 15 years, we do have a lot of more trans people coming out.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I feel like they've always been there. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
they weren't at a spot in their life that they felt comfortable enough to get to that. And I think
Yeah.
as progression and time goes on and acceptance and people being open about things and open about sexualities and I mean, I don't know many people even okay, so I don't even know many people that's straight at this point that's in the trucking career that doesn't have anal sex with their wife or has not tried it. And that's not
Right. Right.
exactly a great thing
Yeah.
to do. But I mean, I'm saying like, but now we have that discussion. Do you know what I mean? Like we can talk openly about things. I don't know many people that don't experiment or play around or have toys or sex swings or whatever it may be, but like our as we become more comfortable about talking about sex,
Yeah.
talking about sexuality, and talking
Yep.
about opening that dialogue of topics, I feel that we are going to have a lot more people coming out. We have Vivian. I absolutely love Vivian. Vivian's been at the house for Christmas many times and went trips and stuff with us and here is someone that I couldn't imagine going until I was 70 to wait to transition.
Yeah.
And then having um the courage at 70 to let's do it now.
Right.
That would be very hard. That would be a very hard pill to swallow
Yeah.
at at that
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
But it's amazing. It's amazing that,
It is. It also helps other people show that no matter what age you are,
mhm.
it's never too late. It's never too late to be happy. It's never too late to be comfortable in your own skin at all.
That's something that people don't really realize though, is that's all you're trying to do is just be yourself and be happy.
Yep.
Happy. That's it. And if at the end of the day, I ask people all the time, I'll say, like Jess or the group, I'm hard on people sometimes and they'll second guess themselves, but then I ask them, if you died today, would you be happy?
Right.
If you can ask yourself, if I died today, no, I don't want to die today, but like if I did, would I be happy with my choices and where I'm at?
Correct. Correct.
I
You
can say,
know,
yeah, I would be.
yeah. Same
I
here.
don't want to die yet. I have a lot of things to fuck up, but
Right?
I have a lot of things to do. But no, I mean, but it's one of those things. I live my life that way because if the last few years has taught me anything, is tomorrow's not promised. 5 minutes
Correct.
from now is not promised. And in the
Correct.
field of what we do, it's very dangerous. And you can't even just avoiding an accident is dangerous. You still can flip your truck. You can still, I mean, people don't even realize that. Like someone, you're just trying to avoid an accident. You literally can literally veer off into the trees, whatever. I mean, there's multiple things that can happen just because you're trying to avoid an accident. And
Right.
so yeah, it's just I try to live my life that way. I try to live in my mindset for me is am I doing everything for myself in the moment that I'm in?
Yep. And
You know, I,
that's a great way to look at it too, because I wish a lot of people would actually look at that and um, be more open to that way of thinking. Because I think it will help people instead of judging one another, they'll be more open and being optimistic about maybe getting to know somebody before they judge the book by its cover.
right.
Um, like like I opened up that book and that doorway with my trainer when I was working when I first started with System Transport, which is the company I work for here in based out of Spokane, Washington. And when he first saw me, um, he kind of put his head down a little bit, because for one, I was the first transgender student that he's ever had, and he's been doing it for about 6, 8 years now. Um, and he's a very great trainer. He's one of the top tier trainers out of System, and he just didn't know exactly which way this was going to go, and maybe thinking like, oh, I'll maybe give him a week, and they're not trucking industry is not going to cut out for him, for them. But I opened the book a little bit for him because I proved that not all trans people, gays, lesbians, trans masculines, um, are one flamboyant or to the point where they can't hold a man's or
You just proved that
um,
they weren't a stereotype.
yeah, exactly. And it opened the doorway where what, maybe I shouldn't judge the books by its cover, because this person, he calls me up almost every day and he goes, man, you were definitely the best student I've had out of 8 years, and it so happens to be a transgender student. And lo and behold, we are just talking because he's got another transgender student, and he goes, I need help on this one. I don't want them thinking I'm being disrespectful or judging. He's actually being more open and being the thought of, what, maybe there's other people out there a lot like Fylishia, and maybe people should not judge it, because they're just like me and you. We talked
That's an
about race
awesome
cars.
thing.
We talked about engines. I told him the line of work that I was in, and I used to be a wildland firefighter years ago. And he goes, man, you're really cool. You like, you don't push on any beliefs or anything. You respect my opinions. I'm like, I am a person just like you are. Um, I wish other people would think that way too. I mean, there are some people, unfortunately, in the LGBTQ community who can be very rude and
Yep.
disrespectful to other people's opinions and beliefs. I mean, that's our freedom. Just as they have their freedom, we have our own freedom as well. So if we can
You know,
come together all and respect each other, even if they may not see eye to eye,
mhm,
I think it'll be a much better place and a much easier workspace, no matter what industry you are in. And yes, I picked another industry of like you were like touching base. I'm like, what made me kind of pick trucking industry to be a kind of a safe haven for myself was one I wanted to, because I didn't see one. It's you see a majority of male drivers out there in the trucks, and
mhm,
you don't see very a lot of women. And I wanted to kind of open that door for not just women, but also transgenders, gays, lesbians, kind of being like, don't be afraid on trying to accomplish your goals and trying things new. You know,
right.
the trucking industry is completely new to me. Um, I was actually one of the top students when I was in system. I flew by my training program, exceeded my upgrade to get my own truck, and I just proved to a lot of people to the point where a lot of people were bragging about me in the company, which was I felt good about. I don't know.
You know, believe it or not, it's um, kind of odd you kind of brought that up about flying past and experience, and it all went so great and everything. Because one thing I have learned myself is, especially in the transgender community, I always feel that someone is transgender in their life as a male or female, whichever way they are transitioning,
Yep.
but in their life before transitioning, they always had to excel almost at the highest rank or over excel or overachieve at everything they did. And I'm not knocking it, but I'm serious. Almost every person I have met people who have been like senior officers in the military. I have met people
Yeah.
that was like a sheriff, I have met people, and then they transitioned later on. But as their male role or female role before the prior role, they always had to be the best, and they held
Yep.
themselves to that. Like
Yeah.
they could
Yeah.
not, um, and I kind of feel sometimes it's because it was their way to hide, like for people who are masculine and going now they're transitioning to be feminine, um, have more feminine attributes and stuff that they it was their way to hide the femininity like
Yeah.
of them, like it
And it
was,
was. Yeah.
and
You.
so they had to overachieve in the role, and it's or a lot of people I had been like covered in tattoos and they have all this stuff and had to be the bad biker bitch, well the biker dude, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but like they do. It really does happen a lot, and I'm like, wow, most of the time it's some of the most masculine people that end up transitioning
Yeah.
to become, a woman
Yeah.
and a for me, I know everyone says trans woman, but to me, if I meet you as Fylishia, you are Fylishia. That is it. It's not really. I know that you're a trans woman in my head, but I register you just as Fylishia. And I feel the whole world if you did that. At the end of the day, what does it matter to me what's between your legs or any genitalia or any of that stuff? Because
Right.
I'm not sleeping with you. I don't go to bed with you at night. I don't pay your bills. I don't. No. So at the end of the day, I meet you as Fylishia, and that's it. It's that simple. It
Yeah.
should be that simple. But if the whole world was that way, it'd be great.
Right. Right. I wish. I wish. Like I've had, believe it or not, I've had people. Like I was saying, like I post in many different communities and groups, and the reason why I do that is to reach other people in other groups who don't really see. Like I've had other people message me out. Like I don't really meet wherever they're out in their world. They don't meet very many transgender people, and it's a good chance for me to reach out and open that doorway for other people and to see what my lifestyle as a person is and what I do for my line of work, to kind of give them a chance to maybe see life in my perspective, my view. And I love getting feedbacks. I always ask people, I'm like, if you have any questions, please ask me. I'm an open book about my sexuality, about my religion, whatever it may be, or my past, how I grew up, having trauma as a child growing up, and different stepdads and whatnot, all the whole 9 yards. But yeah, like I've had
So
people ask me, just out of the blue, like, so what bathroom do you use? I'm like, that shouldn't matter what bathroom I use. I'm like, do you think it'd be appropriate for me dressed up all, in a dress and everything, going into in the male's bathroom? I'm like, for the most part, the males would get very uncomfortable about it, thinking I'm a typical gay trying to hit on them, but I'm just trying to use the restroom. So, and I've had many women come to me. I'm like, they've never for me, I wish I was further along, and it's hard for me to accept me being passable, as I feel like I'm not has met my goals yet, being being in my transition journey, especially being so
I hate
early.
that word though. I do, because what is passable? So, like, honestly, what is passable? I know cisgender women that are born, that I can tell you right, I can take you right to their house today, have armpit hair and mustache, beard. I mean, I'm from West Virginia. I mean, so what is passable in today's world? What's passable?
Right, right,
I mean,
and you're very much valid on that. You know,
I know that a lot of people who are trans beat themselves up because of that word, but I will tell
it,
you, to me,
it is, and I am guilty. I am guilty of charge on that one, absolutely. And for me, I guess really it's more on, I want to be looked at as a woman, and
right.
I don't want people. I go through stores, and sometimes, it's not all the time, but every once in a while I'll get that one person. It's usually the females.
Mm,
It's weirdly enough, it's usually the females who come after me and be like, why are you wearing that? You're a dude, you should be wearing male clothing. How come you're dressed like that? And I literally just smile and walk the other way. When
mhm,
so many times I sit there and bite my tongue when I want to say something, but I reflect and I'm like, I don't want to say anything disrespectful like they are, because I'm not stooping to their level.
right.
But I'd rather share my experiences with others and be like, doesn't matter what I wear. Clothing doesn't have a gender.
Mm,
I could be wearing coveralls and in greasy clothing like I just got done working on my cars or whatnot, and I'll be okay. That doesn't orientate what my gender is at all.
right.
So
I
I don't
think it's
know. I don't know.
important,
And
for people to try to represent what their mental image of what they want to be. I think that's a very, important thing for people to do, because everyone has their mental image of their idealization of what a woman is.
correct.
And when you're trying to do that, I do think it does help when you take the extra time to brush your hair and you get up and you may put a tinted lip gloss on. You're not doing a full face, but if
Yep.
you're if you got your nails done or whatever everyone has a vice that makes
Right.
them in that moment. I would tell you, even as a drag queen, so for me, I've been a queen for years, and I absolutely love doing shows. But I will tell you, at the same time, there's a moment. There's a moment in putting your face on, shaving the beard off, and all that stuff, and putting your face on and doing everything. Everyone has a moment. Like, some people, it may be the fake eyelashes. Another person is the lipstick or whatever. For me, it is the moment when I put the wig on and I turn around for the first time in front of the mirror in full face. That's, but everyone has a vice of some sort that is their, it makes me feel feminine. It makes me,
Absolutely.
it makes my confidence boost in that moment.
And
And
yeah.
everyone's got something. Everyone's is different, but everyone's got something. It may be the lip gloss. It may be something,
Yep.
but or like Tabitha's a cisgender woman, but She loves her nails. You will not see Tabitha without her nails filled and like bright neon colors and airbrushed or whatever and rhinestone. Like she loves her nails. It's one of her things. She's like, and she comes off the road as a truck driver and she's like, "Yep, gotta go get my nails done. I gotta go and fill it
You're
again." You know,
right. I always try to have my nails done, but
it's just
even
one
the
of those
trucking industry,
things.
there will be times I break them.
Everybody has a thing. You know what I mean? There's some sort of a thing that makes you feel. So for you, do you have a specific one thing that stands out for you that makes you feel more feminine every day?
I do, and for me, I'm so self-conscious on it too. For me, it's my hair. It's not my hair, my upper hair. I could care less what my upper hair it is. It's my body hair. I'm
Right.
so got so much dysphoria on my body hair because for me, like my wife is non-binary and she looks gorgeous either way, but she's more natural. She'll rock the armpit hair and the hairy legs, and I love it. I'm still attracted to that. It just
Right.
that's an old school way of thinking. I'm like women used to not really shave their
Right.
body like what we have society thinking all women should have their body shaved and their legs completely
You're in
smooth. No,
Washington
that
State. Hey, that's a good way to keep warm. Snuggle up by the leg hair and
absolutely.
sorry.
She is my bear. She is my bear. But no, like for me, it's like having smooth legs and having no facial hair of no
Right.
12 o'clock shadow or anything like that. That's when I have my moment feeling like I'm very feminine.
Right.
And I've had some women tell me, I'm like, if when you're in the bathroom, I would never notice that you're a transgender or were
Mhm.
born a male. Like you come off as completely fit, very feminine, very female. Like I'm like, I smuck a little bit because I'm like, are they just saying that, or
It
are
makes
they
you feel
actually
good
being true
though
with
in
that?
that moment. Take that moment. Take whatever compliment you get because it makes you feel good
It
about
does.
yourself when people say that. So, you know, and not every one of us is at our best 24/7. That's what people have to remember. You know, you're not at where you want to be. We are truck drivers. We roll out of bed. We are like, I roll out of bed, I walk to the front, I drive. Okay. Like, my pre-trip, yeah, I kind of do a pre-trip. The wheels are there. Everything still looks okay. I'm
Right,
attached. I do a
right,
tug, you know, pull up to the pump, check the oil, check the stuff. Yep, it's good. You know, I mean,
right,
it
right.
and what they teach you in school versus what life on the road really is like
Reality, yeah,
two
yeah,
different things. So it's
right.
like, you know, you try within the best of your ability, but like I could not imagine. I think it's an amazing thing, but I could not imagine transitioning on the road and going through it and not having. I mean, for you, it is great that you have the support, but um, and I guess it'd be kind of awesome to have a wife because then it'd be like, hey, I need this makeup, so she would at least know what you're talking about when it comes.
Oh,
Sorry.
absolutely.
Because like, you know, I mean, if I were to tell my husband, you know, he's a gay little princess, but still he would have no clue if I sent him to the makeup aisle to say, hey, I need this in this color. He'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Get you something completely different. Like, go
Yeah,
take that back. That's not what I asked for.
it would not happen. Like he is very supportive. He does everything that I ask and he's great. And but at the same time, yeah, it's not his area for any of that.
Yeah.
So
No.
how so you guys are married, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And with everything being so new,
Hmm.
maybe it's not fair to me to say that, but everything is still new. That's still like the, you know, I mean, I think it's awesome what you guys have going on and everything at once, but that's a lot of stuff to have going on at once. That's a lot of stuff to be like rolling up into a trucking career and transitioning and babies and
Oh, it is. Sometimes it can be very much overwhelming. Like coming from from a person who, well, one, being in the construction field and the welding field completely changed my direction. Yes, I probably could have worked in a salon. I probably could have worked a barista. I probably could have worked in a store somewhere. But of course, I picked the field that was, again, a little bit more judging, just a little bit. And, but stuck it, kept my head held high and proved to the world that I can do it. Not only that, but a flatbed. industry, having to throw tarps and load securement and stuff like that. I get a
Yeah.
lot of people telling me like, oh, I'm just too lazy for that. I'm like, well, I'm a physical person.
Guilty.
Yeah, I'm used to working and being out in the weather 24/7 in the cold, in the heat,
Mhm.
and being able to get out of the truck and move my body around and feel a little bit of fitness and a little bit of workout is I love it. I absolutely love it. And um
Yeah, I just go
yeah,
for walks when I wanna do that. I just go for a walk. I don't no, I'm not doing all that. I just go for a walk. I'll walk to the
yeah,
gym.
no, it feels really good. So like I have a routine being in the truck, and I get up about an hour, maybe an hour and a half before I have to leave and hit the road. So like I have a routine. So one, I can do myself self-care,
So
being trenched.
are you home every weekend?
Yeah, yeah. For the most part, I am home every weekend, being a heavy haul. So I'm a flatbed but heavy haul. So I'm more regional. There's some states that they don't really allow us in, especially California. They don't like the
Right.
heavy haulers, so I can't
They don't like
legally go into
anybody, so
California.
there's that, you know. They don't like any
But
truckers in California.
I meet a lot of people that don't like to go into California, but I'm not missing anything there. But no, yeah, like I have my routine. I get up, do my hair, do my makeup. There's some days where I just go all natural, just I feel comfortable about it. I feel comfortable in my skin. Maybe I'll just throw a little bit of eyeliner on,
Right?
but yeah, no, for the most part, I definitely do my self care, get my breakfast in the morning, and I'm on the road. Just throwing those miles in.
Yeah, so me, it's get up, throw on clothes, a ball cap, and that's it. That's all
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got. That's
yeah.
all
I
I
wish mine was
got.
much easier. Believe me, um, I wish I was able to get ready and done in like 15 minutes. Give me that little extra hours of sleep, but I
Mhm.
count for that. I go to bed a little earlier, knowing that I'm going to get up a little earlier than most. It actually shocked my trainer quite a bit was the fact that I was always up and ready before he was, and because he thought I was just going to be just kind of dragging him along a little bit, and I was like always waiting on him. I'm like, "Are you ready to go yet?" He goes, "Man, dude, you're already dressed and ready to go. You even got makeup on." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm ready to go."
That's cool though. I mean, you're taking the initiative and that makes a difference. And I think it does. It just, and I think that's why your confidence and your personality is how it is because you're taking pride in yourself.
Mhm.
And a lot of people bury themselves in emotions and or scared to do things. They are,
Yeah.
and I know that everyone has moments. Even you're gonna be like, oh gosh, am I really doing this? Am I really walking into this truck stop? Feeling like
Yep.
I look, and but you're taking the initiative in your mind to do it and go through the steps. So that's very important. That's very important. And that's what makes a difference. I really think that's, and I actually even think that's what makes a leader when it comes to someone actually inspiring others um, and leading in a way that you're kind of just more fearless and just doing it.
Yeah.
Even though I know
Yeah.
inside everyone has their moments of like, am I really doing
Oh,
this? But you don't let it show on the
absolutely.
outside. You just go and you do it.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, we did that and we literally walked into the truck show. We were the first LGBTQ organization and they had to hire security for our booth and there had not been anybody at the Mid America Truck Show in 50 years ever set up. And we were the very first. And when we did it, we kind of put our game faces on and kind of like walked in there because what else are you supposed to do? We had people on the page, we had people on social media. They were telling us, we're gonna take you out, we're gonna take your whole booth out, we're gonna carry you out, all this other stuff. It was
Yeah.
bad. It was
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
And it was intimidating at first, but you just had to like do it, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Like you just had to
N-
go. And
You
then,
have
but
to.
yeah, those moments when you do things like that are so, I don't know, it was so amazing because even before the show opened, we had like dispatchers and brokers and people coming over that were LGBTQ, but they had never had someone there ever in the history of the show. And they were like, I'm so glad you're here. And we were going out of lanyards and pins and all the stuff that we was giving away. It was like, it was going away to everybody that was even there at their booth because they had never felt represented before. So when you
Right.
do that and you're putting yourself out there, that's the goal, is to make someone else feel comfortable in that moment.
Right. And you're completely right on there, because I think a lot of people think, I mean, it is a big world, but it's also a very small world. And there's
Mhm.
so many people out there who feel like they're alone. Not only alone, but very much afraid to come out and uh, being having that feeling of like you're going to be judged and um, pushed out of maybe friendships, organizations, groups of people who you've known is a scary thing. Taking that
It
first
is.
step and that first leap is so scary. But having a like-minded people come together in these groups, communities, towns, rallies, really help each other out. Like I live in a small town outside of uh, Colville a little bit, Addie. But yeah, here in Colville in Washington, we've had our first couple LGBTQ community groups events happening every year. So it's been really nice, and a lot of people have come together. People are starting to come out a little bit more and being a little bit more uh, comfortable about coming out and accepting who they are and reaching out. Reaching out is the first big step. I'm like, if you feel alone, reach out, and
So
we're here to help everybody.
we are actually. I didn't expect me and you to just chit chat this long, because. But was your wife going to say hi or anything before?
Yeah, I can go grab her really quick.
Yeah, if you want to. We only got like 3 more minutes, 4 minutes left. So
Yeah,
yeah, you want
absolutely.
to- okay.
Absolutely. Let me go grab my wife real quick.
Yeah, we definitely need to start working on a show coming up, and a couple other events. Been looking at some stuff. So if anybody out there has any events or anything they want to see us at, please keep us in mind, because we would love to be at some of the events. So
No, yeah, so she'll be here in a few minutes, and she'll happily say hi. And if you got a
okay,
question for her, she's open as much as I am, and um, we'd be happy to jump in another podcast whenever you get going up and going again. Feel free to
yeah.
give me a call. And
We always do different podcasts. So we have like the sex show. We do the sex show usually every year, and that's kind of like talking about life on the road, sex on the road, whatever, and just kind of like who's had sex in the weirdest spots. We just
oh, I'm
open it
very
up.
interested in that one.
And then we just, I don't know, we just always are trying to talk about things, open that dialogue on things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and then I usually do. Well, last year we did a trans a gender awareness show, and that was kind of, we had five, I think it was 4 guests, 5 guests, if I believe, and that was a lot of fun. So I don't know, I just I hate the word. I hate certain words. I hate normal, and I hate the words. It's like people use those words, but they use it, and then it makes people gives power to them, and I hate when people do
Right,
that. Like passable and normal, all these things. Because
right,
in today's world, what is normal? What is any of
right.
that? So
Well, absolutely. Well, here's my wife. I'll be happy to
okay,
introduce you guys, and she's happy to talk for you guys a little bit. And then feel free to give me a call to be back on your podcast anytime.
yeah, that works. Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Um, besides ready to not be pregnant anymore, I'm doing great.
I could imagine, but at
Yes.
least it's not the middle of summer. I think that would be worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully.
Yeah, yeah. One of our friends, it was so funny. So like we live in Florida, and she was like, I want to go to Disney. It was July, and she was 7.5 months pregnant, and thought it
Oh
was a
my
great
gosh.
idea to go to Disney with us. And we went to Disney, and that was the worst thing we could have ever done.
Yeah, like the
But
heat, the humidity,
and
I
she
would just
refused
be
to leave
dying.
because she was like, it was like, she goes, I wanted to go so bad, so I'm here, I'm not leaving. So like, it was hilarious, but it was a horrible day. We still, but it was a horrible idea. But so for you, how is life being at home and pregnant and having kids and then a partner on the road and like
It's it's definitely difficult. Now I understand where my mom definitely came from. My dad, he was actually a big rigger too.
okay,
So I already knew about the whole lifestyle. I mean, when I was a kid, it's literally you can only see your family, well, your person who is going out there on the road only so many times a week, a
right,
month, and it's literally why I can't eat Hershey's, Oreos, and creams anymore because of my dad.
okay,
um, but it's basically we're the tethers. We are the tethers that lead into kind of like the normal world. You
hmm,
know, everything's basically the background for our significant others. And we are the ones that, hey, there's an appointment coming up. There's like, the list goes on about what you have to do for them while they're on the road because they can't do it at all.
right.
And it can be extremely difficult with having to find that balance in that world because you have
Well, I feel like
kids.
Felicia is lucky enough to come home on the weekends, so I think that makes it better. But you know
Yeah,
that that's not always the case because
yeah,
having a dad,
it's
I'm sure he probably was out a lot longer when.
yeah, especially when she was doing training. Training was really difficult for us. There were a lot of times where we a lot of times where we spent the night on our phones talking to each other, going to bed with each other on Discord or Facebook or something, to where we could feel at least some semblance of, okay, they're there. I know they're there, but they're not here. And just having that sense of normality can kind of make it better, but it was
Right,
still severely difficult because one, new process, new everything, and then having to deal with the emotional turmoil of it all because it's not easy at all, because you're so used to having that person with you every night, and
right,
then soon enough you're not going to see them for 2 to 3 weeks, and 2 weeks for us is kind of the minimum when we start really feeling that urge of like, okay, we're
right.
really missing each other, really missing our routines, really just feeling
Me
overly
and
emotional, just
More like the maximum.
yeah, yeah.
me and my
I mean,
husband.
especially
So
missing um like birthdays and stuff.
yeah, me and my
Yeah.
husband, we had been together 9 years whenever we had decided to go into trucking school. And
Okay.
then and after us being together 9 years, we had only been apart like one night our whole time being together. We do everything together. He's my best friend. I'm not the person that like I love my husband. I want to be around him. I enjoy his company, his friendship. It's not, so like when we ended up being like apart for 6 weeks, oh my gosh. Like it was tears on the phone and like somebody
Yeah.
like laying there on the phone together and then being frustrated at the same time and then and then you're going to think bad of me. And then it resulted to we had nights where we had phone sex in the shower. I mean, you do what you have to do.
Yep.
I mean, to get through it together. And people don't realize how hard that is in a relationship. When you're in a relationship and then your partner's there and then they're gone for like weeks and you don't see each other and it's hard. It's very
Yeah.
hard. So, I mean, at least for you at this point, um, she's home every weekend, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I still know that. So, like, the whole pregnancy hormones, emotions, like, that doesn't help. It's not your fault, but
No.
I couldn't imagine that. But yeah, so it's hard enough as is already. Being a spouse of someone who's a trucker, but then putting pregnancy hormones in there,
Yeah, it's an interesting combo to say the least. I mean, with the pregnancy, she's had to miss out a lot,
Right.
like a lot. She hasn't been able to make any sort of appointments with me, and it honestly sucks, but it's just one of the things that we kind of have to sacrifice at
Right.
most of the times. I mean, not unless I'm able to maybe make an appointment on a Friday, but even then it's still kind of iffy because her Fridays are still okay. We know she's coming home, but
What time?
at what time?
Right.
It could be at 4, it could be at 8.
Well, it's trucking, and you maybe say, "I'm coming in on Friday," but then the load canceled, something delayed, it didn't get
Yep.
loaded in time, or I ran out of my clock and I'm 4 hours away. Like, it's trucking, sadly
Yeah.
enough. It's trucking. People don't realize that a lot, though. And that's why when I interview people and we talk about things and the struggles that it has for the person, the family, it's important to talk about that. And people don't think about that. People think, when they're going down the highway, let me punch the gas on my car so I can get past the big scary truck. Like that's,
Yep.
you know what I mean? And they don't think much more past that of who's driving that truck. They really don't.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, she's only technically here for 2 nights and a day, and then she goes back Sunday, depending on what time. It can be between 4 or later when we go and drop her off at the terminal, but we don't get that much time.
Right.
It's really lackluster in the time that we get to spend with each other because of course you just want to spend as much time you can with them. And in that time, it's just not enough.
It's never enough. I
Yeah.
always feel like I'm home long enough to like do laundry and like buy groceries for the truck and like I mean serious that's what it's just the life and then I
Yeah.
may run out but then you don't even feel like running anywhere because it's like I spend all the time in a vehicle so it's like I don't really want to go anywhere and then I'm like okay so this is the house I pay for but I visit it a couple times a month or once a month so it's hard. It really is. And
Yeah.
and then I know there's a lot of people that's gonna be like, well, you chose to do this job. Well, you chose to buy all your shit on Amazon and I have to deliver it too. But someone has to do the job and but it is challenging. I very much though still do really enjoy being a driver. There is just this I don't know, there's something about it. Some people love it, others hate it, but there's just something about being a driver that I just absolutely love. I do. I wish that I have missed so many birthdays and funerals and family events, but I still love being a driver. So it's trying to find that balance to where you can be there for some things. So do you guys kind of have a plan on like when you're, I mean, are you waiting? Are you going to have your water broke? Like what?
So at this time, it's still like, there hasn't really been much of a plan. I know that Felicia wanted to be there for at least a week for when I start to really start to get into the motions of early labor, and then kind of spend the week after. And that's kind of a shitty thing because it's all by mile. You get paid by the mile.
Right.
And if you're not running your miles, well, you're not really getting money.
Right.
And yeah, it's
I get it.
honestly, like, I would have to say, if you were single and you hadn't, just family that's like immediate family,
Mhm.
it would work perfect. But for a family, it's so freaking hard
Mhm.
because there's so much that goes with it. It's so many layers with, normal life, and then adding trucking on top of it.
There's
It's a
nothing
lot.
normal about trucking. There's
Yeah,
nothing normal
no,
about trucking.
no, it's so much to plan. There's so much planning. Like,
Mhm.
it's your calendar. Oh yeah. Like, if you'd never used a calendar before, you will now. You will now. If you don't do mobile banking or anything like that, you will now. There is so much that
Oh,
you, like, in comparison to what I grew up with my mom, and dealing with, like, very much 90s trucking
mm.
comparatively to now. It's a huge step forward, but it's still difficult.
That's a great one, Jess. Yeah. That'd be challenging. Right on the truck, that'll induce labor. These roads are these roads are crazy.
Well,
Have you been on the truck? I
oh
mean,
yeah, I have. Kind of just to spend the night because right now, since I'm getting further along, I'm at 31 weeks. I'm going to be 32 Monday. It's gotten a little bit more difficult sleeping in the sleeper, and a lot more space has been given to me. She's pretty much like squished against the wall. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to spread out, sprawled out. And
Anything for
yeah.
her.
Well, I am so excited that I had both of you on here, and I just want to thank you both for sharing a little bit of a peep into your life. And I just it warms my heart to see that you both are happy and laughing and smiling, and this is what it's supposed to be about. I'm very thankful that you gave me some of your home time because that's like precious time to have. But again, I'm very thankful that you both um, were able to talk with us about everything. I do look forward to having you back, and then when the new baby comes, we're gonna have to send something or something. I don't know. We're gonna do something,
oh,
but it's all about being a family, and it's not always about the family you're born into.
yep.
And that's what I've tried to do is create a family. Every year at Christmas time, we try to get together here in Florida or wherever we're at to give family to people that don't have a family to go home to. And
Exactly.
that's what the organization's about. A lot of people see it and they think about chatting and social, and it is, and it's how you utilize it and use it. Everybody has their different, whether they're single or whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Mm.
It's just all about having a connection and a free place to express yourself, be who you are. And I'm so happy that you both are just very adorable and just so it's cute, and I love the fact that you care so much. I feel it when you're talking. I can feel your emotions, and knowing that I imagine there's many tears shed when Fylishia goes on the road and the whole leaving the house and
Yeah.
but that's because you care from the heart, you know. It's there, and when you have that love and bond, I totally respect that. And but more people need to see that. People instantly wants to criticize the dynamic of your relationship when it's really not any of their fucking business. But
No.
just you know, but if they can see the love and respect that you both have for each other, that's, you know, what matters, and that's what everybody needs to remember versus, you know, why is this person with a trans woman? Why is that person with the, what is this person's sexuality? What do they have between their legs? Well, nobody cares. I mean, why
Yeah.
does it matter? You know, it shouldn't matter. But
It shouldn't.
you're both trying to make it work. I see that, and I
Yes.
think it's amazing and beautiful. And you, I can't wait to see the whole beautiful family and the whole
Oh,
thing. So, we'll definitely. I want to make sure that we get Fylishia and you both T-shirts and things like that, so you guys have them
oh,
from the organization and some stuff. So, and but we'll go from there and definitely come back and talk with us and we gotta see the baby when it comes along.
Absolutely.
So I thank you both so much. And um, is there anything you would like to say to anybody before we close out?
Um, really, it's thank you guys for having us on the channel and the broadcast. We really appreciate it, and we're happy to reach out to other people who are in need or would like to make questions answered. Please just reach out. I mean, my wife and I are both open book. She's helped me out big time in the LGBT community as I was kind of felt like I was alone, and she's given me the support that I've needed. And yeah, we're here to help each other out as like you said, we're family. We're all family here. So
Well, I thank you both again, and we will talk soon.
yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. You guys have a great night.
All right, you too.
Okay.
So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will be back. You will see me again. It won't be months down the road, I promise. Jess has been working really hard at doing his recovery as an update for you guys. He does need some support from others, and so if you want to reach out to Jess and make sure that he stays on the path of his Jane Fonda workouts and sweating to the oldies like Richard Simmons and all of his good stuff that he's doing because he is trying to get better. He has went from being completely dependent on the wheelchair to now where he uses his walker. He has walked with a cane. He's working on everything to get better. And so it's always great to drop a line to him of encouragement, just to let him know that, hey, we need you out of Bobby's house and back on the road in a truck. Oh, did I say that out loud? Wait, maybe that wasn't supposed to come out. Oh, but anyway, um, drop him a line of encouragement. Make sure that when you are on the group that you do remember that we all are drivers and we all run the page. We run, and it's not just here. We have YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and well X and Twitter, whatever they're called now, and then LinkedIn and pretty much anywhere that you can get it, that you can find the page or you can find our podcast. And so just, you know, just remember that all of us do play a part in it. And so don't be so hard on everybody. And don't be so hard on everybody when everybody's on the page, because we are still drivers just like you. So we are checking messages, we are doing things from our trucks, and so we have to wait till we are in a space or we are in a safe area to be checking things and doing stuff. So we all work in the background like everybody else, but we also are running all the different pages, editing podcasts, setting up new podcast guests, and so yeah, that's, just keep that all in mind. And if you have any different any idea for guests or anybody that wants to be on the podcast, or if you have any events this year that you would like to see us at, please send that to us, because right now we are trying to book our whole year, the rest of the year out. We have a couple events we're starting with, and then we're going to go from there. So anytime that you guys have any ideas, don't be afraid to pitch them at us and send them our way. So I thank you all for everything. We do have a couple of sponsored companies and people that we do work with, so please make sure that you do. I shouldn't say sponsored; they're not sponsored. We have a couple of companies on our LGBTQ vetted page, and so please check that out if you're looking for companies to work for. And then also, please remember that we do a lot of different things, and if you need any help, we help drivers get home. We help in every aspect that we can, whether it be 988 or mental health services or whatever it is. We are trying our best to make sure with our team and our staff to get all the bases covered that we can. So I thank you all. Without all of you, we could not do what we do. And I hope to see you all soon. So I love you all. From your big gay trucker, have a good day.